I'm Vitolo Rossini. People call me Vito. I have the same name in first life and in second life. I'm a formal martial artist and canine specialist. I spent most of my life traveling, been employed by law enforcement agencies throughout my life. I got to see the whole world until a 5.5-week coma cut my career short. I, at the time, thought my life was over, thought that I was washed up, and felt pretty sorry for myself. And as I was finishing a 6-month rehabilitation stay in a hospital, I came home, and a neighbor had told me about Second Life. I was computer illiterate and had never even turned on a computer. At the time, was not able to read anymore. Second Life was really just an experiment to see if I could maybe start to learn, find a way to make my brain function. And he told me that people came to Second Life, some that were homebound, to try to find a window to the world. My first experiences in Second Life were pretty wild, as Second Life was pretty lawless back then. Casinos were legal, gambling was rampant, griefers ran amok. At the time, I organized a group called Harmonious Society of Peaceful Fist, the same name that my organization in real life had for the whole 30 years that I was in the martial arts. This group dedicated ourselves, to helping to fight grief. At the time, we kind of learned that dog parks were a big target for griefers because by the nature of dog parks, they had to leave these locations open for folks to res objects. My team and I went from dog park to dog park, keeping it clean, trying to use gentle, non-combative techniques to convince people to not grief at these places. And while there, I guess I started to focus on the virtual canines. I found while I was focusing on the virtual dogs that I suddenly was in the same position that I was in my real life many years before. As I tried to work with people and explain what I understood about the virtual dogs, I found the actual emotional tie to my past real life, because I found that I was doing the exact same thing, teaching people to handle dogs, only virtually. But I found also that there were ways to connect, make connections in my mind, reconnect circuitry that had been damaged. I was able to once again feel the pride of being not only a dog trainer, but a assisting force in helping dog handlers learn mastery of their tool, their pet, their virtual or real canine. When a person has a real life interest, anything that they love in real life, when they come to the virtual world, they can focus very easily on something that they already enjoy or something they're already connected to. I find that I can use the virtual canines almost like a magician uses smoke and mirrors. While your attention is drawn to the virtual canine and your mind is telling you that you want to be able to do things with this dog, you listen and you pay attention, and while you're focused on the hand up here waving a little handkerchief, my other hand is in my pocket and it's reaching in for some knowledge about the SL viewer, about computers themselves, about life itself. And it's easy to let this information flow while one's attention is focused on that which they care about, which in this case is the virtual dog. There's many levels of virtual dogs. There are simple following pets. There are even more simple pets. There are two-dimensional decorative pets. There are also robotic canine companions. There are drop-down menu dogs that perform different functions according to a drop-down menu. And then there's those with artificial intelligence that function independently. I learned that whatever is meaningful to each individual, if you're happy with what you have as your virtual dog, then your attention is focused on that. and you can still learn easily, whether or not you have the multiply scripted, most complex virtual dogs or the simplest version of a virtual dog. You ask how I got to be called the Dog Father. It was bestowed, but I like the title and I'm very proud of it, and I try to never let that image down. You see, I found that friends that I had in the past and people who knew me as a martial artist and a dog trainer, they would see me and they'd see me stumble when I walked, or they'd see me uncomfortable and in discomfort, pain, and I would see tears in their eyes, and I couldn't get my friends to stop looking at me with sympathy and saying, "I'm so sorry, Vito." So I stopped associating myself with these people, except for some of the government people that I had worked with, people in the Border Patrol that corresponded with me about their dogs and their canine units through email, and they've called me the Dog Father for years. Comparing my real life goals to my second life goals, that's a real loaded question. Let me explain. My real life goals involve a happy marriage and a happy home life with my family, staying at the level that I am at. I'm in the unique position, having a brain injury, in that there's not much physical improvement that I can gain in life, but to keep myself able to walk with assistance and to keep going to therapy, and I do go to therapy very often. My goal is to help people that I can't see through this viewer in Second Life. That's what my real life goal is to make Second Life the proper venue for any person who I am fortunate enough to make contact with and have some influence over, is to make their second life more meaningful to them. That's my real life goal. But my heart's goal, my heart's and mind's real life goal, is to reach out to people. I am very lucky. I lived through a 5.5-week coma and was told that I died 3 times, and one time was for over 3 minutes. I'm lucky to be able to have regained speech. I'm lucky, and perhaps it is the fighter in me, perhaps it's the years and years of martial arts training that made me stand up and keep standing, even when my mind was almost unconscious at times. Perhaps it is this determination that my whole real life goal is to pay back where I can to the maker of this universe, to pay back for how lucky I am. I've been a very fortunate person to have lived, and I know that I've learned a lot through Second Life. Therefore, it is Second Life that I will pay back the great debt that I owe the universe. I speak so much about success begetting success, and I mentioned that failure begets failure. It's true that a lot of people are afraid to fail, so they don't try things. But once you try things, because you're brave enough and you realize what kind of things you don't really like to do, it's good to avoid those things, to avoid failure, because failure always begets more failure. If you go into Second Life, for example, and you engage in activities that aren't fulfilling, it leaves you feeling empty inside. You get talked into doing something that you know you don't want to do. Well, you try to do it, you don't really succeed at anything, you don't have any new experiences to fulfill you, and you log off and you go to bed. Your subconscious is working now, and your dreams are affected, and you have dreams of frustration and incompletion. So naturally you awake feeling a little bit frustrated and a little bit tired and restless. And when you log into Second Life, you have those butterflies in your stomach because you're not sure about what's going to happen today, but still, it's a window to the world and you come. Now, the other side of the coin is that if you come into Second Life and you find something that you have an interest in, dogs was my choice, okay? You have fun, you learn, and you give yourself, because you're interested, a chance a couple times to say, I know how that works now, or now I get it, now I understand it. And given that opportunity, you have succeeded. You have succeeded in understanding something, and you go to bed and you sleep. Your subconscious now unwraps all the events of the day, and whether you realize it or not, you're dreaming, and the dreams are different. They're dreams of completion, and they're dreams that reflect successes that you've had in learning something or figuring something out or having an inspiration. So you awaken feeling good, and in fact you're anxious to get in second life. You don't know why, but that's because subconsciously you know you had an exhilarating feeling of success by understanding something new. Feeling good about yourself carries into your daily activities, not just in second life, but in real life. This good feeling translates into confidence. Confidence is what gives you the courage to accept challenges. Challenges give you the opportunity to see where you want to succeed and where you might fail. And fear becomes nothing once you have great confidence. Anyway, the bottom line is that success begets success.